I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible because it varies completely depending on your baby, your goals, and your situation as a mom. But the most important thing is you have to wake them up every 2 to 3 hours from the moment they are born until they are back to their birth weight. When they are back on their birth weight, because everybody baby lose weight, some will lose more than other, like mine. So it took her 3 weeks to get back on her birth weight, but usually it takes 2 weeks. Then you do not have to wake them up at night anymore. So mine goes 4 weeks, 4 weeks. Mine goes 4 hours without waking us up, so she can go 4 hours without feeding in the middle of the night now. But during the day, I wake her up every 3 hours if I have to. Now, every baby is different. So if your baby is going to be crying all the time and is hungry more, and you're going to have to feed her or him every 1 hour, every 1.5 hour, every 2 hours, like every baby is different. That's why some baby are fed on demand, because once again, every baby, every situation is different. Now, when it comes to pumping, pumping is not a necessity. Not everybody has to pump. If you do not want to pump, you don't have to. As long as the baby is fine and the baby can latch and the baby doesn't have a tongue tie or whatever else is going on, then you have milk, then just put her on the breast. If you want to bottle feed, if you want your partner to help, if your baby has problem latching and is not getting the milk, then that's when the pumping comes in question, right? Also, I'm triple feeding, meaning I'm putting her on the breast, then I'm giving her a bottle, and then I'm pumping at the same time, because I'm doing this 8 times a day to get my milk in. So because of my low milk supply. So once again, every mom is different, every situation is different. And also, I do not want to pump. I hate pumping. I never want to pump, and I still don't want to pump. I'm only doing it to help my low milk supply. But once I'm done, I'm only going to be breastfeeding. That's it. I don't want to have to wash bottle. I don't want to do anything, but right now I have to. But obviously, if it comes to it and I'm gonna have to formula fed because whatever else is going on and it's not working, then I will have to. But if you decide to pump, then most women will pump right after they breastfeed them or in between meals. So you breastfeed them, you put them to sleep, take a nap, and then you pump. So that's another way to do it. But every time your baby has to eat, you need to be putting them on the breast. So even at night, if you want to take a break or have your husband give him or her a bottle, then you still have to wake up and pump, because you have to stimulate your breast signal that the baby has to eat. So even though the baby is not going to be on your breast and is going to take a bottle, you still have to wake up and pump, if that makes sense. So this is why I don't like the whole pumping. I feel like it's too complicated, too many parts, too many things to have to wash, take care of. You still have to wake up and pump. Even if you want to break from and sleep during the night, you can't. You still have to wake up and pump while your husband give a bottle. So then when it comes to nap time, it's pretty easy. They nap all the freaking time. Sleep, wake up and eat, go back to sleep. Sleep, wake up and eat, go back to sleep. Literally, pretty easy. If you're lucky, they might be up for 30 minutes, an hour, 90 minutes, depending on where you are, your situation, the environment. If your baby is like me and she gets very aware and she's outside when we go on walk, she does not fall asleep in the stroller. She fall asleep in the car, but that's pretty much it. She needs to be in the dark. She needs to like have her eyes covered or something. Like, she cannot be sleeping anywhere. I need to be careful. So once again, every baby is different. Every mom is different. But I hope this helped. I'm going to show you right now my screen of the app that I've been using. Now that she's 4 weeks old, it's a little bit more predictable of the routine and what I'm doing. And also my schedule, because now that she's 4 weeks old, I can work on the schedule. But once you're right off the hospital, it's pretty impossible to have a schedule right now. So this is pretty much the schedule that I have for like the last week. So I am sorry. I am triple feeding once again. So I put her on the breast, then I give her the bottle and pump at the same time. It is a full-time job, but every single feed I am doing triple feeding right now. Like, usually if you only give the bottle or the breastfeed, it can take between 15 to 30 minutes, but let's say 30 minutes between the whole burping and everything. But because of everything I'm doing, it takes about an hour, even longer sometimes, or sometimes 45 minutes, okay? But so that's why after that it's 8 a.m. sleep, but it can be 7:30 if they're done quick. Then they sleep. They can have a hard time sleeping, whatever, but it's pretty an average, okay? Sleep, then I have to have her be asleep first, and then I take her on the walk. She does not fall asleep on the walk, so that's just me. That's just my schedule. And I can feed her again at 10, and the whole thing again. Sleep again. It can be asleep at 11. It can be asleep at 11:30. It depends on, the time. It's not very accurate. And then feed and then sleep. Feed, obviously I'm also doing some tummy time, doing exercises, putting her on the mat, but that's like 5 minutes 3 times a day. I didn't write it here, but it's like if I see that she's happy and she's awake and content, she will literally just stay on her back and just stare at the sky, stare at the ceiling. So I have a very easy happy baby. So I really fit this in between depending on how she is. If she's cranky, I'm not gonna put her and not gonna do tummy time. I'm just gonna, keep going and put her to sleep. But that's pretty much it. 7, 10, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 11 p.m. That's the feeding time during the day. But then, as I said, she can go 4 hours without eating. So from 7 to 11, it's 4 hours. And then 11 to 3, 4 hours. And 3 to 7, 4 hours. The first 3 weeks, she was not doing this because we had to wake her up every 3 hours, maximum, every 2 hours if we had to keep her weight up. Now that she's back on her weight, we're good. But that's pretty much the schedule right now at 4 weeks. Of course, obviously I added my walks at night and in the morning, and then give her the bath time to try to get like a nighttime routine. But that's pretty much it. You can also do like the other one, like the feeding at 8, 11, 2, 5, 8, 11, or you can do 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 12, 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and so on. You can work it around. See what works for your schedule, what works for your baby. If your baby wants to wake up every 2 hours, if your baby wants to wake up every 2.5 hours, every newborn is different, every baby is different. What's important is you keep your feeding schedule. If you keep your feeding schedule, everything else will fall into place. Even if they're sleeping, you wake them up and you feed them. The sleep will come into place. You'll just learn their cue, learn to how they sleep, have contact naps, like make it easy if they want to fall asleep, but that's pretty much the easy schedule, and that is what works for us right now. Okay, and this is actually the app and everything I entered that day. So I started at 8, and then I did 11 feed, and then 2 p.m. feed, and then almost 4. So you don't have to follow that schedule. You can just like, okay, I'm up, and then you start a countdown. That's what we did the first 3 weeks. We just started a 3-hour timer every single time we woke up, and then we feed her that way. So we knew when to wake her up. But it's pretty much the same. Every day is the same thing. Sleep, wake up, feed, and then go back to sleep. I don't enter all the pays in the app, but honestly, this app is a lifesaver because it keeps you on track. You know exactly when you fed her, you know how much you fed them. You can write everything down, you can go back, you can put a timer. I know you can have the subscription and have more help, but this is what I do. And like I just said, nap, wake up, feed, and then go back to sleep, right? Well, she just had she just had 5 ounces and she's knocked out and back to sleep. So that's literally it. That's all they do all day.